Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to my first ever YouTube video. First of all, you can just call me Jay. And ako po ay isang international student here in Australia. I've been living here in Brisbane for about 6 months already. And basically, I'm here to talk about the things that you should consider before moving here to Australia for international studies. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so first thing to consider before thinking about moving here for international studies for me is we have to think about the main reason or the purpose. What is your purpose? Ano po ba talaga ang dahilan kung bakit pupunta tayo sa Australia for studies? Is it for a promotion? I mean, if you already have a career in the Philippines and you're wanting to, gain leverage when it comes to career growth as well, it's definitely a good idea to come here for studies because obtaining a diploma or a certificate here could prove to be an advantage when it comes to career growth in your field of specialization in the Philippines. And another possible reason is you're aiming for PR or permanent residency. So that could be another reason. So since one of the major requirements po when it comes to the point system of obtaining a PR is yung Australian education. Okay, so the point here is you need to think about it. You don't need to rush things. Moving here is definitely a major life decision. So give yourself the time to think about it before actually jumping into a final decision. Alright, so that's the first thing. Okay, so second thing na kailangan natin i-consider guys is yung ating qualifications. So kailangan natin i-ask yourselves natin, are we actually qualified to obtain education here in Australia? So one of the major requirements po by the immigration is for us to have a bachelor's degree prior to actually thinking of enrolling here in Australia for further studies. And another thing is yung course po na kukunin natin dito sa Australia, it should be related to the course na natapos din natin sa Philippines. And another plus points din po if yung job experiences din natin before is related din to the course na kukunin natin. Let's say you were an HRM graduate or Hotel and Restaurant Management graduate in the Philippines and then you're planning to apply for enroll for a cookery course or anything related to culinary arts here in Australia. So pwede yun. And plus point then again, if you had an experience working in a restaurant or in a hotel, so most likely hindi tayo magkakaproblema dyan when it comes to if magagrant yung visa or not. But then, in contrary naman, let's say you're a medical student in the Philippines like a nurse and then you're applying for, let's say, IT or again, culinary related course. So mahihirapan tayo. So kailangan natin i-prove yan through the thing we call GTE or SOP, Statement of Purpose. It's like a letter addressed to the immigration. It will be your chance to explain why you wanted to go to Australia, why do you want to obtain education here in Australia. So parang letter po yun na naka-address sa immigration. So kailangan i-defend mo yung reason mo papunta dito. So I will eventually make a separate video on how to go about making your SOP since I actually made my own SOP. Okay guys, so I've decided na lumabas po ng bahay. I was bored and lakad-lakad po ako. And yung pathway po na nilalakad ko is usual na jogging area to, jogging path or biking path. Well anyways, while I'm on my way to kung saan man ako pupunta, let's talk about the third thing na kailangan natin i-consider before moving here to Australia. And that is budget. So, kailangan po tanong din natin yung self natin, are we financially prepared to go here? I mean, the cost of living alone in Australia is, relatively high. And consider din natin yung initial expenses natin like yung visa processing fees, yung siyempre kailangan mo mag-undergo ng medical exam. So, mag-spend ka din ng money doon. And then, yung meron tayong tinatawag na health cover. So, that's OSHC
OHC or Overseas Student Health Cover, something like that. So, kung Australian citizen ka, you are usually sagot ka ng government if ever may something na mangyari sa'yo like accidents. So for us na mga international students, so since hindi tayo covered ng government, yun, kailangan natin magbayad ng health insurance for ourselves. Okay, so in general, usual na tinatanong sa akin how much po yung kailangan mong i-prepare, no? So considering, let's say you are taking up yung school na pinili mo is a college, not even a university. Like me, no? I'm enrolled in a college. So, kailangan mo mag-prepare ng at least 350 to 500,000 pesos. Hindi pa kasama yung ano mo doon, yung allowance mo, yung initial allowance mo. And come to think of it, guys, no? I didn't even had to prepare a show money. So, nung pumunta ako dito, may parang kung sa atin, parang sasabi nating promo na walang show money, so I didn't have to go through that. So what if sa time na magde-decide ka na pumunta dito, may show money na ulit, so yun, dagdag na ng pag-isipan mo yan. Well, and then when you arrive here, let's say everything became successful, no? Naging successful. Anyways, andito po pala tayo sa suburb neighborhood namin to, so makikita natin yung mga bahay sa likod. Yun, so going back, let's say successful na lahat, nandito ka na sa Australia, and yun, nabayaran mo yung initial tuition fees mo. Yun pala, kasama pa pala sa initial expenses mo yung down payment sa tuition school fees. Okay, let's say nabayaran mo na yun lahat, no? Kailangan din meron kang tinatawag, kung sa akin tinatawag na initial budget mo dito na allowance, na at least, for me lang ha, at least good for 2 to 3 months. So ano ba yung mga expenses na yun? So first of all, importante is yung accommodation mo, yung rent. So keep in mind na yung rent dito sa Australia hindi per month but per week, no? In contrary sa Philippines na usually yung rent sa atin per month. Another thing is yung food. Siyempre kailangan di ka kakain, di ba? So kailangan may initial budget ka for food. Well, nagde-depend din yun kung gaano ka katakaw anyway. Actually, mura at affordable yung food dito. I mean, if you relate it to your salaries here or the salary rates here in Australia versus the food, it's actually relatively cheap, no? Basta marunong ka lang mag-budget din, hindi ka nagsasayang ganun. And isa pang bagay na i-consider mo din na initial expenses mo dito for your allowance is your transportation. Well, common na mode of transportation dito is buses. So, for me as a student, may tinatawag tayo na concession, so discounted usually. May tinatawag kami na Go Card. Yung parang card na yon. Wait, what is this? A lizard. I don't know if makikita dyan. I don't know if kita ba dyan. It's a lizard. Usually, so mga ganito, very common yan dito sa Australia. Nagsisilabasan sila siguro dahil sa init. Anyway, it's 35 degrees Celsius today. So yun, parang normal lang yan. Mga snakes, lizards, birds, mga wild animals dito sa likod ng bahay mo, parang normal lang. So better be careful din. And then, isipin mo din yung monthly na tuition fees mo. Initially, you paid a down payment for your tuition fees before you even got here. And then, when you get here, you're gonna pay on a monthly basis the rest of your tuition fees. So, you can actually have a flexibility when it comes to mode of payments. Like, you can opt to pay per week, per fortnight, and that is 2 weeks. Or, in my case, I had it in a month para medyo hindi masyadong pressured. So, I'm here at, kita mo yun sa likod, that's hypermarket. So, andyan yung Kmart, Target, Coles, Woolworths. Parang isang area kung saan iba't ibang klaseng mga establishments, you know. So, siguro dyan muna ako papunta, palamig, baka maghanap ng lunch. Let's go on to the next thing that we should consider.
before going here, and that is your employability or your ability to land a job here in the Australian scene. And for me, that is a major importance when it comes to living here in this country. Siyempre, kailangan natin ma-support yung expenses natin. By the time maubos din yung initial budget natin or yung initial allowance upon going here. So what we need is a job, a part-time job na kailangan natin para makasustain sa expenses such as yung rent, yung food, yung accommodations, yung rent na. And transpo, tuition fees, etc. So what you need to remember is that we as a student, we have a work limit of only 20 hours per week, or that's 40 hours per fortnight. So pag lumagpas tayo doon, nag-violate na tayo sa visa conditions, which is not a good thing. We might get in trouble, or worse, we can be deported. Okay, so ano na lang, let's just comply to the rules and regulations of being a student visa holder. Alright, so pauwi na tayo, guys. And yun, walking distance lang po yung house ko to hypermarket. So it's a bit convenient on my part, especially when doing groceries. Okay, so let's talk about the last thing, in my opinion, na kailangan natin i-consider din when moving here. And it is our ability to adapt to change. So how open are we to change? So we need to ask ourselves that. So moving here is not just a change in location, it's way more than that. It's a totally different scene here, especially when it comes to like culture, weather. Before naisip ko ang init naman doon sa Pilipinas, but you have to experience summer here in Brisbane to know what mainit really means. Just like now, it's like 36 degrees. I checked. Okay, so yun. The culture here is also different. Even the orientation of the roads are different. The cars are right-hand drive, which means na yung pagtawid sa daan is opposite din. So the first time we arrived here, so medyo nalito din tayo especially pagka-cross ng road. Right, so yun, consider din natin yun. And usual na problems ng mga Filipinos is homesickness when you get here. In my case, I have my wife with me when we came here, so hindi ako masyadong na homesick. Yung mga alaga lang namin doon, like dogs, cats, yun lang. Nami-miss mo din. But anyways, yun, so you have to be open to change. Everything here is different, and it's like a mix of different cultures here. So it's not just Australians who are here, yung mga Indians, Brazilians, Nepali. Basically, open siya sa halos lahat ng race. May mga Russians din. Kahit nga sa school pala namin, iba't ibang race. Okay, so yun, adaptability to change. Alright, so we just got home, guys. And in conclusion, I would like to say that if you're already decided, if buo na talaga yung loob mo to pursue studies here, and I guess you have to be financially, physically, and emotionally prepared. And for me, in my case, I can say that moving here and pursuing studies is one of the best decisions that I've ever made, and it could be yours too. And yeah, so I guess that's everything for today. And while I'm planning to upload more videos in the future pertaining to life here as a student, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And even if I guess it's too soon, but if you want to subscribe to my channel, I would highly appreciate it. And I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.